Hello, today is January 20th, 2024. We always do our disclaimer first. We'll go over our calls and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Remember, I can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high. That's this. Tends to be a rally day. High in the final hour. We got a high, but it didn't overtake this high. Time doesn't run out until early Monday. We take this out early, ideally by gapping over it. That's the normal pattern. If we can't do that, it should lead to a pullback. Doesn't mean we have to close. That doesn't mean we have to close lower, but when this can't take out this midday high in this pattern, at least over the very short term, it does have negative consequences. Monday's pattern should also have the early high. We had a target 47.44.78. I thought it might not print. I thought this was strong action on Thursday. I looked for a strong move at the open and likely to get follow through, and that's what we got. This is just a reminder of what we said. These are the patterns we should see next week. During the day, MEJT gave the buy signal in the afternoon. It certainly worked, although it didn't have to go as high as this to satisfy the signal. We're now over the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. That doesn't necessarily lead to a pullback. We've stayed over it several weeks here, but it certainly argues against an explosion on the upside. We've just hit the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly chart. These lines are DeMarc's stop loss for his combo and sequential sell signal, but the stop losses are not based on intraday closes. They're based on monthly closes. Just means we're in the area, but we could trade far over this, and as long as you pull back, there's no stop. So it just tells you you're near resistance. Doesn't tell us anything about Monday. Well, the general idea is we completed a huge ABC. We are certainly appear to be in an impulse up. My target's 5,087, but that's a target. It's not a stop and reverse. If this is the right idea, we're going to be going up for a long, long time. Doesn't mean you won't pull back along the way. We had a rising wedge. I think that idea is killed, but there is a new trend line here that we're going to have to respect. And the rule is either you gap over the line or the line wins. Meaning if you don't gap over it, move over it isn't going to stick. It's not the only trend line. Here's the trend line we showed there. There's a trend line here with some good hits and a trend line here. I mean, those are pretty good hits here. So the trend lines all meet at this one point, and that's a trend line resistance area. So either you gap over it or the line wins. That's price. Now, as far as time is concerned, Saturday is a hit on the square of 9 from the October low from last year. And a friend of mine has a system of his for picking change in trend dates, and that hit on Friday. None of these resistance areas based on time have to hold. All we have to do is gap up, and then we kill the idea. But if we don't gap up, you're at strong price and time resistance. This isn't the only way to count this. I mean, it certainly looks like an impulse, and it could be a third wave. I could even count this as wave 1, wave 2, and this move we're in now in another wave 1, and this would be 2, and then we'd be in wave 3 of multiple degree. All this is bullish stuff over the longer term. But again, if we're going to get this rally to continue, we really should gap up Monday. And if we don't gap up Monday, I think the odds are favoring a pullback. Well, Monday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. Friday's normally bullish pattern didn't close over the midday high, and if maintained at Monday's open, that's an if, should lead to lower prices regardless of how we close. Any break needs confirmation by trading past the close by 1 cent. Friday's high came in a confluence of resistance points based on time and price, and if the rally is to continue unabated, ideally we should gap over that high, and if we clear the high promptly, sometimes that's enough. I just don't feel like standing in front of a freight train like this. We had a chance for a more sizable drop than we had, and that was rejected. I don't think it pays to argue with the fact that we're going much higher, but again, I take things a day at a time, and you really need to gap up to make that work for Monday. The break to a new all-time high needs confirmation by trading past Friday's close. Maintaining a gap lower is negative. Implies we get more of a pullback over the short term. Longer term, we should see higher prices in any event. If we do gap down, which I'm not predicting one way or the other, I could see most of this leg rally being retraced. But I don't know how we're going to open Monday. We open up here, we're still in a strong uptrend, and I'm not going to fight it. So it's the pattern with the early high. All systems are go. If we gap over this, even though it still would be in resistance, this is a strong impulsive rally. But if we can't clear this early, and if we drop down Monday, I could see a sizable retracement. So we'll see which of those things happen on Monday's open. And that's today's call.